Hello, dear friends. What is your opinion about the principles of honesty? Why do we often say, "I will be completely honest," or "I am being honest with you," as if the rest of the time we are hiding something? What if we made honesty a core principle and value in our lives, always and in all situations? Does this work for you? While you ponder this, we invite you to watch our issue today. Once again, there has been a train accident in the United States, this time in Colorado Springs. The incident involves the transportation of heavy military equipment, and at some point, 8 cars went off the tracks. Witnesses reported heavy rumbling and scraping, but preliminary reports indicate no one was injured. Local media reports that no hazardous chemicals were released into the environment. An investigation is underway to find out all the circumstances of the accident, and the emergency section of the railroad track is temporarily closed to train traffic. Terrifying footage is coming from Argentina, where a massive wildfire is raging in the province of Córdoba. The fire approached the town of Villa Carlos Paz on Tuesday, destroying homes. Hundreds of firefighters are battling the blaze, but their efforts have so far been unsuccessful. Evacuations are underway in and around the settlement, with people hastily fleeing their homes. Extinguishing the fire is being hampered by difficult weather conditions. Strong winds are fanning the fire, while the heat and dry vegetation are serving as excellent fuel for the flames. Preliminary reports are that the fire may have been set intentionally, and police have already detained a 27-year-old man who is suspected of unintentional arson, apparently resulting from an attempt to cook coffee over an open flame. While the exact extent of the damage remains unclear, and information on the number of homes destroyed and casualties is not yet available. That night there was a fire at Luton Airport in London, UK. Because of this, all flights were delayed until 1400 hours Moscow time. The flames broke out on the top floor of the multi-story parking lot of the airport. Witnesses talk about loud explosions, although official information about them has not yet been confirmed. What is known for sure, however, is that in addition to flight delays, access to the air harbor is completely closed. In other words, the airport is inaccessible for arrivals even by motorized vehicles. It is also reported that the fire caused partial destruction of the building structures of the parking lot. As a result of the incident, 1 civilian and 6 firefighters suffered smoke poisoning, according to ambulance officials quoted by The Telegraph. Mexico is facing Hurricane Lidia. Because of this, schools and universities are not holding classes and kindergartens are closed. Real lakes have formed on the streets and traffic has become almost impossible. Witnesses of the events share footage on social networks. The speed of the hurricane wind reaches 170 kilometers per hour. In some areas there is no power supply, there are destroyed houses and fallen trees. Emergency services are evacuating residents left homeless. In addition, water flows have washed away roads and destroyed several bridges. The population is asked not to approach dangerous areas and to follow the messages of rescuers. According to the forecast of meteorologists, the elements may still intensify. More than 300 millimeters of rain are expected in the regions of Nayarit, Jalisco, and southern Sinaloa, which could lead to more serious flooding and landslides. Locals are being urged to be prepared for the effects of the disaster, and so far there is no information on fatalities or injuries. The city of Bago in Myanmar is facing the aftermath of the floods. Monsoon rains caused the water levels in the rivers to rise sharply, and the city's sewage systems were unable to cope with so much water. About 14,000 people were evacuated from flooded areas and sent to temporary shelters. Many had to resist the elements on their own, swimming across the streets in waist-deep water. Emergency services urged the population not to make such attempts and to wait for help, as such swimming is extremely dangerous due to the possible presence of metal debris underwater. In addition to residential houses, medical facilities have also been affected. There is virtually no cell phone service in the region, and the exact number of dead and injured is still unknown. The authorities are making every effort to help the population cope with the severe weather conditions. Let's look at Afghanistan, where we see a real refuge for the victims of the Garrett earthquake. These people have lost their homes and are forced to sleep in tents with their families. They describe everything that has happened as a real ordeal and at times have felt that their lives hang in the balance. Afghanistan now faces an additional threat, the possibility of more earthquakes. This is preventing the process of rebuilding infrastructure and returning to normal life. Recall that on Saturday, October 7th, Garrett was hit by earthquakes with a magnitude of 6.4, which destroyed homes and killed about 3,000 people. The country appealed for international aid, and several states, including Kazakhstan, China, and Pakistan, have already sent medicines and basic necessities to Afghanistan. Today, 2 more earthquakes with magnitudes of 6.3 and 5 occurred in Afghanistan, in the same province of Herat. No information yet on damage and casualties. A sea bear has been spotted in the Florida Territory. According to witnesses, he jumped into the water and swam across the channel before climbing aboard. As you can see in the video footage, the bear felt pretty confident on the vessel. One of the observers decided to call specialized services to help the bear return to land. It should be noted that the animal remained unharmed and was successfully returned to shore. It is also worth noting that the ship was not damaged during the encounter with this stubby traveler. In conclusion, we present to you shots from Berlin, where a festival of lights called Colors of Life is currently taking place. This festival of lights, by the way, is already the 19th one. Thousands of people gathered in the city center to enjoy this amazing spectacle. For 10 days, as night falls, Berlin is transformed by hundreds of projectors, lasers, and fireworks. Landmark locations such as the Brandenburg Gate, Alexanderplatz, TV Tower, Berlin Cathedral, and more than 100 other beautiful structures become canvases for large-scale light installations. It is interesting that the Festival of Light breaks the normal working hours of most establishments. Almost all bars, cafes, restaurants, and even museum grounds stay open until very late in the evening so that visitors can fully enjoy this amazing event. Dear friends, which of the stories told in this issue struck you the most or left an impression? How do you see the events surrounding the derailment of a train carrying military equipment in the United States random, an act of sabotage, or perhaps some kind of symbolic sign? Also, do you empathize with the people of South America, Argentina, who are threatened by fire, or Mexico, where people have been affected by hurricane and flooding? We invite you to share your opinions in the comments. We wish peace and good to you and your families, and, of course, we urge you to take care of yourselves and our common home, our planet, always remaining human beings with a capital letter.